The first light of dawn spills through the towering oak trees of the whispering woods. Birds sing their morning songs, and the scent of fresh earth fills the air. A gentle breeze dances through the leaves, making them shimmer like emeralds. Down below, on a soft bed of moss, Oliver the gnome stays from his slumber. He stretches his tiny arms, adjusts his red hat, and dusts off his green tunic. His mushroom-shaped home sits snug between the roots of an ancient tree, surrounded by glowing blue mushrooms. Above him, Squirrel Nutkin scurries down from the high branches, clutching a strange acorn in his tiny paws. But this is no ordinary acorn. It glows with a golden shimmer, and strange symbols are carved into its shell. Nutkin's bushy tail twitches with excitement as he chatters at Oliver, urging him to wake up and look at his discovery. Oliver rubs his eyes and steps forward, gazing at the golden acorn Nutkin has placed before him. The markings on its surface pulse softly, as if whispering an ancient secret. Oliver reaches out cautiously, his fingers tingling as they brush against the acorn's warm shell. The air around them shimmers, and the sound of rustling leaves grows louder, though the wind has stopped blowing. A deep hum vibrates through the ground beneath them. The towering trees seem to lean closer as if listening. The acorn's glow intensifies for a moment, casting strange shadows on the forest floor. Nutkin's ears perk up, sensing something unusual. Oliver frowns, realizing this acorn isn't just special, it's magical. Far beyond the trees, a thick mist begins to creep in from the darker side of the woods, bringing with it the faint sound of whispering voices. Something, or someone, has noticed the acorn's power awakening. Without warning, a sharp whoosh slices through the air. A dark shape moves between the trees, swift and silent. Oliver and Nutkin freeze. The branches above them tremble, disturbed by something unseen. Then, two glowing yellow eyes emerge from the mist. A low growl echoes through the trees. Oliver grabs the acorn and tucks it into his satchel. Nutkin chitters nervously, his fur bristling. From the shadows, a massive, black-feathered raven steps forward. Its beady eyes gleam with hunger, and its sharp talons dig into the ground. It tilts its head, eyeing the gnome and squirrel with eerie intelligence. The raven's deep voice rumbles through the air. Though it does not speak in words, Oliver understands. That acorn does not belong to you. Before Oliver can react, the raven spreads its enormous wings and lunges. Oliver dives to the side just as the raven's talons strike the spot where he stood. The ground erupts in dirt and leaves. Nutkin leaps onto Oliver's shoulder, his tiny claws digging into the fabric of the gnome's tunic. Without thinking, Oliver sprints toward the thick trees, dodging roots and rocks as the raven's giant wings beat furiously behind him. The bird lets out a piercing screech, shaking the branches. It launches into the air and dives at them again, its sharp beak snapping just inches from Oliver's hat. The gnome skids to a stop just before a steep cliff. Below, a roaring river crashes against jagged rocks. With nowhere to run, Oliver turns to face the raven. His heart pounds as the creature hovers above, its wings blotting out the morning sun. Then, Nutkin springs into action. He snatches a tiny pebble and hurls it at the raven's head. The rock bounces harmlessly off the bird's glossy feathers, but the distraction is enough. The raven blinks in surprise, giving Oliver a split second to act. Oliver doesn't hesitate. He grips the golden acorn tight, takes a deep breath, and jumps off the cliff. Wind rushes past his face, his hat nearly flying off. Nutkin clings to his shoulder, his eyes squeezed shut. For a terrifying moment, they are weightless, tumbling toward the rushing river below. Just as they are about to hit the water, something glows beneath them. The acorn pulses with golden light, and suddenly, the river's surface shimmers like glass. Instead of crashing into the water, Oliver and Nutkin sink through it as if it were air, vanishing beneath the surface. The raven lets out an angry cry, circling above, unable to follow them. The mist around the trees thickens, swallowing the bird's furious screeches as Oliver and Nutkin disappear into the unknown depths. As Oliver and Nutkin sink below the river's shimmering surface, the world around them transforms. The rushing waters vanish, replaced by a strange, glowing tunnel of swirling blue light. Tiny golden fish swim past them, leaving trails of sparkles in their wake. Oliver twists and turns, feeling weightless as if floating in mid-air. Nutkin clings tightly to Oliver's tunic, his tiny claws digging in as he squeaks in panic. But before either of them can react, the tunnel shifts, and they shoot forward like a speeding arrow. The light around them pulses faster and faster. Then, bam! They burst through a curtain of golden mist and tumble onto soft, glowing grass. The river is gone. They are somewhere new. Oliver groans and sits up, brushing off his tunic. Nutkin shakes himself, his fur standing on end. They look around in awe. They have landed in Eldenwood, a secret realm hidden beneath the forest. The sky above them glows a soft lavender, and floating islands covered in golden trees drift through the air. Strange blue flowers bloom in clusters, humming softly as if singing. The air smells sweet, like honey and fresh pine. A massive tree with silver leaves stands in the center of this strange land. At its roots, a stone archway covered in glowing runes hums with energy. It looks ancient, powerful, and familiar. Oliver reaches into his satchel and pulls out the golden acorn. It glows even brighter now, pulsing with the same energy as the archway. They have found something incredibly important. Before Oliver can step closer to the archway, a deep rumbling shakes the ground. The glowing runes flash brightly, and the air crackles with power. From within the archway, a tall figure made of twisting vines and bark steps forward. Its eyes glow like amber, and its voice is deep and ancient. It is the guardian of Eldenwood, the protector of the golden acorn's magic. Oliver and Nutkin take a step back as the guardian raises a massive wooden hand, studying them carefully. The wind whispers through the trees, and the golden acorn in Oliver's hands pulses in sync with the guardian's heartbeat. The guardian kneels, lowering its glowing gaze to Oliver. It does not attack. Instead, it waits. It is testing them. Oliver swallows hard and grips the golden acorn. He senses that the guardian will not let them pass unless they prove themselves worthy. The earth trembles again, and suddenly, the ground shifts beneath them. Roots shoot up, forming twisting pathways. Trees bend and reshape themselves, creating a massive maze. The guardian steps back into the archway, disappearing in a flash of light. Oliver and Nutkin have no choice. They must find their way through the maze and prove they are worthy of carrying the golden acorn. With a determined nod, Oliver takes a step forward. The adventure isn't over yet. Oliver grips the golden acorn tightly as the towering maze of twisting roots stretches before him. The walls seem to breathe, shifting as if alive. Nutkin clings to his shoulder, his ears twitching nervously. The gnome takes a deep breath and steps forward. The second his foot touches the ground inside the maze, the entrance behind them vanishes, swallowed by a wall of thick vines. They are trapped. A faint glowing path flickers ahead, but the moment Oliver moves toward it, the light shifts directions, leading somewhere new. The maze is testing them. Strange whispers echo through the air, the voices of ancient spirits guiding or deceiving. Oliver clenches his fists. There's no turning back now. As Oliver and Nutkin carefully move through the maze, small floating blue lights appear between the trees. They flicker and dance playfully, their soft glow illuminating the dark path ahead. Nutkin chitters excitedly and leaps toward one of the wisps, but the light zooms away, leading him toward a side path. Oliver gasps as the walls shift, nearly separating them. He lunges and grabs Nutkin just in time. The wisps swirl around them, laughing in tiny, musical voices. They aren't just guiding them. They are playing a trick. Oliver narrows his eyes and pulls the golden acorn from his satchel. Its glow flares up, causing the mischievous wisps to scatter in surprise. For the first time, the real path is revealed. Just as Oliver and Nutkin rush down the revealed path, the ground rumbles beneath them. Thick tree roots burst from the earth, twisting and curling like serpents. From the walls of the maze, root creatures begin to form, gnarled wooden beasts with glowing green eyes. The creatures lumber forward, their clawed hands reaching for Oliver. Their deep, groaning voices echo through the air. They are the maze guardians, meant to stop intruders from passing. Nutkin hisses and leaps onto Oliver's shoulder as he dodges a swinging root arm. The creatures are closing in. The maze will not let them leave so easily. Oliver grips the golden acorn. He doesn't know what to do, but he knows he has to act fast. Just as the root beasts lunge, Oliver squeezes the golden acorn and shouts. A brilliant golden light explodes from the acorn, sending shockwaves through the maze. The root creatures freeze, their glowing eyes flickering. The vines around them tremble as the maze itself reacts to the energy. One by one, the creatures bow their heads, as if recognizing Oliver as their master. The acorn's power has proven his worth. The walls of the maze peel away, revealing the final path forward. The golden archway glows in the distance, and beyond it lies something even greater. Oliver and Nutkin walk cautiously toward the golden archway. Unlike the stone gate before, this one is made entirely of light, shimmering like liquid gold. Strange symbols swirl across its surface, shifting and rearranging themselves. The moment Oliver steps forward, the symbols flash brightly, forming words he can suddenly read. Only the one who seeks with a pure heart may pass. Oliver swallows hard and steps through. For a brief moment, the world blurs, and then, he and Nutkin are somewhere new. They have reached the heart of Eldenwood. Beyond the archway lies a breathtaking golden grove. The trees have crystal-like leaves that tinkle softly in the breeze. The ground is covered in soft, glowing moss, and floating lights drift through the air like fireflies. At the very center of the grove stands a massive golden tree, its branches stretching toward the sky. At its roots, a pedestal waits, perfectly shaped for the golden acorn. Oliver's heart pounds. This is where the acorn belongs. But before he can move, the sky darkens. A familiar shadow looms overhead. The raven has found them. The raven dives, its massive wings blotting out the sky. It screeches, and a gust of black wind rushes toward Oliver, knocking him back. The golden acorn slips from his hands. Nutkin springs into action, leaping onto the raven's back and biting down on its wing. The bird screeches in rage, twisting and thrashing in the air. Oliver dives for the acorn, but the wind pushes him away. He struggles, reaching with all his strength. This is their final chance. The raven lets out a deafening shriek, shaking the golden grove. Its powerful wings beat against the air, creating a swirling storm of dark energy. Nutkin clings desperately to its back, his tiny claws digging into the raven's sleek black feathers. Oliver struggles against the powerful wind, inching forward toward the golden acorn. His fingers brush against its smooth, glowing surface, but the raven swoops down. Its sharp talons slam into the ground just inches away, sending cracks through the golden earth. Nutkin bites down hard on the raven's wing, making it screech in pain. The beast flaps wildly, trying to shake the squirrel loose. This is their chance. With one final effort, Oliver lunges and grabs the acorn. The instant his hands close around it, a shockwave of golden energy bursts outward, forcing the raven to retreat. The grove trembles as if awakening from a deep sleep. Oliver stumbles to his feet, holding the golden acorn close to his chest. The great golden tree ahead of him shimmers, its branches reaching toward the sky like arms calling for something long lost. The pedestal at its roots glows brighter, pulsating in time with the acorn's energy. The raven, furious and desperate, dives toward Oliver once more. But this time, Oliver is ready. With all his strength, he hurls the acorn onto the pedestal. The moment it lands, a massive burst of golden light erupts, spreading like ripples in a pond. The ground trembles, and the great golden tree comes to life, its branches stretching wider, its leaves shining like tiny suns. The raven screeches in agony as the light engulfs it, forcing it back. Its form twists and shrinks, losing its terrible power. It flaps weakly, then vanishes into the sky, nothing more than an ordinary bird once again. Oliver and Nutkin watch in awe as the grove glows with renewed energy, the heart of Eldenwood finally restored. As the light settles, the ground stops shaking, and a deep, ancient voice fills the air. The guardian of Eldenwood emerges once more, stepping forward with slow, heavy movements. Its eyes glow warmly as it looks down at Oliver and Nutkin, nodding in approval. A gentle breeze rustles through the golden leaves, and the runes on the stone archway shimmer one last time. Oliver feels a warmth inside his chest, a feeling of completion. The golden acorn was never meant to be taken. It was a heart of this magical world, and now, thanks to him and Nutkin, it has been restored. The guardian extends its massive wooden hand. In its palm, a small glowing seed appears. It is a gift, a piece of Eldenwood's magic, meant for Oliver to take home. Oliver bows deeply, accepting the gift. The adventure may be over, but the magic will live on. With the glowing seed safely tucked in his satchel, Oliver and Nutkin step through the stone archway. The moment they pass through, the world shifts, and suddenly, they are back in the familiar green forest of their home. The sun is setting, casting golden light through the trees. The river babbles gently, as if nothing had ever happened. Nutkin scampers up a branch, chittering excitedly, while Oliver takes a deep breath and smiles. The adventure had been dangerous, exciting, and filled with magic. But most importantly, they had protected something precious. Eldenwood was safe once more, and the forest would always remember their bravery. As Oliver makes his way back to his cozy little home, he clutches the glowing seed, knowing that one day, another adventure will begin.